Okay, it's a little different, and I'm old now. You know, all the muscles are deteriorating and all that. I try to keep myself in shape. I'm rounding 70, but I still swim and surf and ski, and I do everything I do, but I've had to adjust down. One of the biggest things that I like besides surfing, and I was one of the, I wouldn't say one of them, I back it up, but early on. A couple things that ruined surfing were the leash, the computer, and the clothing companies. Okay, those are the three in my book that ruined it. But before the leash, it was fairer because it was less people. But if you surfed and you weren't good, you ate it. You had to swim. And you had to be a good swimmer to go in and get the damn board. If you weren't a good swimmer, usually you're on the beach just, you know, like that. And you go out to Big Sunset in Hawaii and you have to swim in on Gets That Rip, you're done. One and done. That's it. But the big thing for me, although it's fading away, was I was a good swimmer and I was a really good body surfer. And I'm lucky. I got to body surf the pipeline in the 70s. And that's back in the beginning of the lightning bolt years before there were leashes. Now the pipeline's a pretty brutal place. If you don't make it out of the barrel or you eat it on the wipeout, that's it. You got to swim in and go get your board. Meanwhile, the body surfers are out there just ready to pick it off. There wasn't that many. But to pull into a wave that's 2-3 times bigger than the ceiling, and you're good, and you're just pulling down and watching this waterfall come over you, and you're going, and you come out, and you throw it. It's the seventh wonder of the world. And I've forgotten it. I mean, that feeling stayed with me forever. Can't do it now. That place is like the 405 at traffic hour. But I body surfed out there with one of the guys who was probably the best body surfer I've ever seen in my life is a guy by the name of Mark Cunningham. And he's the best I ever saw. And he was a lifeguard with me along with another guy named Bruce Lee. Not the karate guy, but Bruce Lee. He was my partner at Sandy Beach lifeguarding. And those guys were phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, it made me look like a journeyman. But this guy could stick to a pipeline wall like I couldn't believe. But it was just a handful of people back then. So you go up there and you go out, you had to pick your waves, but just to get in, to come down on one of those and know when you hit your turn, the barrel's coming over and I'm gonna be in, you disappear and you get spit out. Oh, incredible feeling. I'll never get that again, never happened, but at least I got it. It's one of the surf megatropolises, if that's the word I can use. Again, I probably sound like an old bitter dinosaur. Probably am. But it's so overpopulated and over the top now that it's incredible how many people are in the water now. I would say Orange County has always kind of been on the map because if you go back in time, really, it all started here. It started with Hobie and those guys and the Dana Point Mafia down there. Those were the guys that really brought it out of the ground. Now remember one thing about those guys. Those guys, and I would say me too, on the last of it, they all had a work ethic. They came from parents of the Depression. They had to learn things, but he was smart. He goes, I want to live at the ocean. I want to live on the south side of 101 highway. I don't want to wear shoes. But he was smart. He was a craftsman. He was a thinker. He figured out when he was shaping surfboards how to do the foam. And then from there, they went into the Hobie cats. They went into the clothing lines and so on and so forth. Walter Hoffman, who I don't know if you guys see, it's Hoffman Fabrics. The Hoffmans, Walter and Flippy were big in bringing the industry, the fabric industry out. Walter's still alive, Flippy's passed away. But all of those guys, Bruce Brown, who shot The Endless Summer, all those guys, they were the guys that did it. But they had one thing, it just wasn't handed to them. They had to invent it, and they worked hard. So they were, they had a work ethic. So they brought it out of the ground, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Too big, I think. Well, okay, surf lifestyle. All right, this is how I interpret it. Everybody goes, if you're bitten hard, surf fever, disease, addiction, you want in it. You want to be in it all the time. But unfortunately, the reality is we have to all make a living. So you don't really make a living in it. And, you know, you can go work for the surf clothing companies and you can go work, it's all changed now, but you can go work for the shapers and the glass. You're not going to make any money. Most of them get smart and go, I ain't making anything of this, and they move on and do it. You want to make sure you don't get on the dark side of the surf lifestyle, where you're just in that parking lot drinking and drugging and parties and chicks, and then all of a sudden life's gone too far past you and you haven't caught on. And you end up like the homeless people, except, you know, down there. You got to be very careful about that. You know, it's great, but it doesn't pay the bills. So you have to do that. Surf lifestyle, I think, which means to me, I hate that, I don't like that word, I like ocean lifestyle, is, you know, I'm born at the ocean, I'll probably die at the ocean. I mean, I'm having a hard time right now figuring out what am I going to do. So, in terms of surf lifestyle, very few hit it big that they can really make a nice life for yourself, where all the money's coming in off a surf product or surf clothing or something like that. Very few do it. And, you know, more power to the ones that do it. You're envious. You wish you were that smart and you can do it. Most of the products fail. And not only that, but now all the products and all that out there in the stores, the internet's killing the retailers. You know, all my friends own retail stores. What happened? The kids come in. Hey, how much is that wetsuit? Oh, that's O'Neill Primo or whatever. We sell it for $230. Okay, thanks, dude. Boom, right to the internet. Oh, $150, I'll buy it there. You know? And then the surfboard shapers, which were the gods, you know, now it's like, you know, mom and dad, I want to surf, I want to surf. Okay, the surfboard shapers were our gods. They were it. They had the secret and the formula. But to get a good longboard or something like that now, to have a shaper do it, you're looking at $800 or $1,000. Mom and dad work 2 jobs to try to live in the Orange County lifestyle. $800 for the latest Johnny Slasher model versus the wave storms at Costco. What do you think mom and dad are going to get? And those things are flooding the markets now. But yeah, so that's the deal. But again, on surf lifestyle, my position on that is, if you kids are listening, don't put all your eggs in that basket. It's very, very hard. Very few. And a lot of the ones from the past generation have invented all that stuff, and it's already been done. And, you know, there's some of them that did invent stuff and did good, and then they lost it all because they went out and partied and thought the golden goose was going to keep it going. You've mentioned a couple names now that they're as broke as Easter eggs now.